To solve a quadratic equation like this, the two methods typically used are to factor or to use the quadratic formula. If we look at this equation for a minute or so, we realize that it's not factorable. So the method of solution is going to be to use the quadratic formula. Let's remind ourselves. If I have a quadratic equation that looks like ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, the quadratic formula states that x must be negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. If we plug these coefficients into that equation, we get x equals negative 1, b is 1, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 1 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, which is 3, divided by 2 times a, which is 4. If we do a little bit of arithmetic, we get minus 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus 48 divided by 8, which is negative 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 47 divided by 8. Now, the square root of negative 47 is not a real number, so we're not going to have real solutions to this quadratic. We can think of this as negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 47 times the square root of negative 1 divided by 8, and we can write that as negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 47 times I, all of which is divided by 8. We could also write this as negative 1 over 8 plus or minus radical 47 divided by 8 times I. We can see two distinct complex solutions.